Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. Today I'm at Mercedes Benz of Shreveport, and my friends here at the dealership have loaned me a vehicle they have not had in their inventory before, so I really appreciate that. This is the 2021 Mercedes Benz AMG GLB 35. Of course, it is a 4MATIC, being an AMG, so that means it is all-wheel drive. And we're going to take a quick look at the exterior and interior features, do a test drive, and just do our normal deal here on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel. And as you can tell, I'm just going to step back here just a little bit, kind of drop the angle of our shot just a little bit for you. This is quite a racy looking little model. Low to the ground, very low profile, looks very high performance. And we'll talk about exactly what those performance numbers are in just a minute. And as we take a quick look here at the front end, of course, you see the Panamericana grille, which is a sign of performance, something exclusive to the AMG line of vehicles. And you can see the sensors on the front end, at least one of them right here on the lower portion of the front end on the bumper. And speaking of that, I will list all of the safety features, or at least a partial list of those safety features, but there's a complete list available through the link to the dealership's website if you want to check that out. The headlights and taillights are LED, and it does have quite a nice look with the black trim all the way around the vehicle. You also have the black AMG multi-spoke. Those are 21-inch wheels. And of course, just get a little close up here. This is a turbocharged engine under the hood, and like I said, 4MATIC, as you can see right there. And speaking of that, why don't we open the hood and take a look at exactly what motivates this model to get down the road. And here under the hood is the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Puts out 302 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. A bit of an upgrade for the 2021 as far as power is concerned. That power is put through an 8-speed automatic transmission and ultimately makes its way to the ground, of course, through the 4MATIC all-wheel drive system. And it's quite a fun little vehicle to drive. You'll see on our test drive in just a little bit that while it may not have the most horsepower of an AMG model, it's definitely not shy on the ability to get down the road quickly. And just so you can see the remote right here, I'll unlock the vehicle. As you can see in action, those power folding heated side view mirrors that this model has. Of course, we'll take a closer look, but as you might be able to tell on the roof of the vehicle, there is a panoramic sunroof up there. Of course, the black roof rails. And like I said, with all of the AMG styling on this model, it really sets off the way it looks. It just looks ultra racy. And when you get into the interior, you're going to find out that it actually is rather spacious, not something you might necessarily expect on a model such as this, but it most certainly is. Of course, has the roof spoiler right here, not only functional in the way of channeling air over and away from the rear window. That's one way you're going to keep that clean, at least when you're driving down the road, but it also looks really sporty. In fact, it pretty much speaks high performance, as you can imagine. And of course, there is the AMG badge right there. Something that everybody on the road is going to see probably on a regular basis once you start driving one of these GLB 35s, because your foot's probably going to be in it quite often. And so they're definitely going to be behind you more often than not. And as we get ready to hop into the interior, of course, you have multiple ways to open the power fully automatic rear liftgate, including the remote that I just showed you, the little button on the remote. We'll just take a quick look here, and I'll list the numbers on the screen as far as cargo space, and it is rather plentiful when it comes to not only cargo space, but overall interior space. And being a 2-row SUV does give a little bit of extra room back here without having to fold down any rear seats or anything along those lines. And I will lift up the floor here, let you see. No spare tire. You do have a spare tire, or a tire repair kit, I should say, but at least you know what is there. And of course, this thing is so hot that the fire department is now on their way. And as we hop into the back seat to actually take a little bit closer look at the interior here, as you can see, it is a very nice color scheme here. Of course, the white contrast stitching, not something you normally think of as bringing out quite the look that it does, but on this particular color of interior, you definitely get that. And of course, as you can see, you do have the panoramic sunroof here, and you do have power shades for the front and rear portions. And of course, as we start to move inward into the rear seat, of course, you do have the fold-down armrest right there and the concealed cup holders within. Make sure you can see at least one of those. And we'll take a quick look by hopping inside at what you have. Of course, as you would expect, the dual air conditioning vents. And right under here is a little compartment that has not only a power outlet, but of course, your 2 USB ports. And of course, fair time given to the front doors and the front seat as well. And as you can see, you've got seat memory right there, your seat adjustments, heated and cooled seats. So obviously you're gonna have that on the driver and passenger side. And just like I said, a very clean look here, very nice looking interior. Really like this color and just the overall layout. Tell me what you think about this. Definitely one of the nicer that I have seen in all of the different Mercedes-Benz vehicles that I've had the chance to review here on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel. And of course, basically the same thing with a few additions here on the driver's side door, as you would expect, including another one of those options that I mentioned earlier right here that will allow you to open and close the power lift gate. Heated and cooled seats again, seat memory, all that good stuff. Of course, you're going to have the aluminum sport pedals and the AMG performance steering wheel that we'll get a better look at as we hop inside. And as promised, here is a better look at this leather-wrapped AMG steering wheel. Of course, you've got the AMG logo right there, and of course, the typical steering wheel mounted controls here. Everything very easy to use. And I know I say this in a lot of my videos, but if you've never had this kind of technology before, don't be afraid of what it might be. It's not that difficult to learn. Of course, your salesman at the dealership will help you out a lot, but as you can see, it's actually very easy to use and quite a bit of fun to learn, at least in my opinion. I know a lot of people are probably still scared of this kind of thing if they've never had it before, but there's really nothing to be afraid of. You've got all the great information right at the literal touch of your fingertip, including changing the look of the dashboard. And I'll just do that one time for you just so you can see how easy that is to do. And of course, you also have the controls right here for the screen in the center. These are both 10.25-inch screens. The center screen right here, or the right side screen, being a touch screen. That's right, with the MBUX system, now you have the touch screen, and you still have the old trackpad. I don't know if I should call that old or not, but it is there if you want to use that. As you can see if I can get you a wide enough angle here to see what I'm doing right there. Still works the same way. So if you're maybe from the older generation of Mercedes that did not have the touch screen and you're more familiar and used to the trackpad, well, you still have that option if it's something you wish to use. Of course, you have dual zone climate control here. It's probably going to be very difficult to see. I don't think we have enough darkness in here to see the ambient lighting, but just so you can see what you have, there are 64 different colors available, and you can choose those colors. And as you could see on the previous screen, there's a lot of different choices as far as what you can do. You can even change the brightness. Let's just see where that's set right now. That is set to its brightest setting. What I did was I just went ahead and closed the shade, hoping that maybe you could see that light a little bit better, so you can see some of the ambient lighting. You can definitely see it down here on the center console right there. And of course, you have multiple features here depending on what you want to do, including active park assist. That's what that button is right there. And other features that basically act as one-touch buttons. You can control, of course, the volume and everything right here with the radio. But everything is very easy to use. Phone, radio, and media, navigation, all that good stuff is right there and super easy to get to no matter what option you choose to use, whether you use the trackpad as I'm doing right now, or you use the actual touch screen itself. Of course, there's navigation. We'll just take a quick look at that just to show you what the screen looks like, and a little bit of a better look at these seats from this point of view, now that we've kind of gotten rid of some of the glare of that sun. And of course, here is the center console. And by the way, of course, you do have a USB port right here, 12-volt power outlet, and another USB port inside of the center console right here. I've opened the doors on that just so you can get a quick look inside. Pretty deep console. May not be as lengthy as some, but it is rather deep. So a reasonable amount of storage space in there, probably more than what it looks like on the screen. And of course, right here is the selection for your driving modes. And let me just show you what you have as far as those modes go. We'll just start here. You've got, of course, slippery, individual, comfort, sport, sport plus. And obviously we are going to drive in Sport Plus for at least most of our test drive, if not all of it. In fact, let's get started on that right now. Okay, to start our test drive here, let me make sure nobody's around. Okay, to start our test drive here, I'm going to see if I can launch this one. Yep, launch control actually did work. Sometimes these AMG models do have launch control enabled. It depends, I guess, on how much horsepower they make, because I've noticed I did another model, I forgot what it was, but it also made 302 horsepower, and it too had launch control enabled in Sport Plus mode, so I was quite impressed that we were able to take off there. You know, it's so funny. With my background in the sport of drag racing, having driven very, very fast race cars, and my years of experience at driving fast cars on the street as well, sometimes it just doesn't impress me as much to do something such as launching a little vehicle like this GLB, but someone else might freak out over that. I really don't know. But it almost kind of takes away from the experience in a way. But still a lot of fun to drive, and that's one thing I really like about this little model, is that it's very versatile. It's a great vehicle for a daily driver with all the different driving modes and the great handling characteristics, which, speaking of great handling characteristics, here we go into my favorite corner, and I'm just going to accelerate all the way through here. No problem at all. Wonderful handling. Of course, I'm in Sport Plus mode, so everything's set to its most aggressive settings, but you just have such a perfect package. And even though it's not the most powerful AMG model you can purchase, 302 horsepower is nothing to sneeze at. It definitely can let you have some fun. And this is just a lot of fun to drive. This little model handles great, a lot of great cargo space. Of course, you have the typical features and technology. That's one thing that I haven't said a lot about, is how great the technology is here. And if you've never had any experience with the MBUX, MBUX, or Mercedes Benz user experience, that's what that means, has different names, here is one of the cool features of what you can do. Hey Mercedes,
how can I help?
How much gas do I have left?
You can still drive 82 miles.
And that's just one example of questions you can ask, and I won't say it, but you can ask her the name of the screen. I won't say the name because she'll answer. But I actually just did a test earlier, and it was such a long answer. I'm not going to do it on the video here, but I basically asked her what questions I could ask, and she gave a pretty long answer to that. I won't do that right now. If you want to hear the entirety of that answer, tell me down in the comments, and next time I do a Mercedes-Benz video, I will actually let that play through. I think it was about 30 to 45 seconds worth of an answer, but kind of interesting there, of course. And let's see, let me get out of there, because I think it's still, if I said the wrong thing, she might talk back to me when I don't need her to. But everything here is so easy to use. And let me do this. Of course, it's not going to be as helpful literally right now because we're on a pretty smooth road. But if I go into comfort mode, which I did for a little while earlier before I turned the camera on, there was a noticeable difference between Sport Plus and Comfort. Comfort definitely is as advertised. It's very comfortable, makes the ride very enjoyable. The ride quality is very smooth. But of course you have individual as well, where you can literally go through and change every aspect of the vehicle, from the steering to the suspension to how the engine works, all that kind of stuff. And one can be set to comfort, one can be set to sport or sport plus, and you can just kind of mix and match however you see fit depending on your personal desires. Great handling vehicle, lots of great options and capabilities here. I mean, a fantastic daily driver. That's one thing I really like about these Mercedes Benz models, is that even when you get a high performance AMG model, it's not difficult to daily drive it. I mean, that's really what it's made for. In fact, if you get one of these, whether it's this model or something higher, maybe a GT63 or something like that, you need to drive it quite a bit. I always think about the story that I've told here on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel before about the fact that one of the AMG owners brought whatever model it was they had to the shop right here at the Shreveport dealership, Mercedes Benz of Shreveport, and said this thing is just running terrible. And they ran some diagnostics on it and everything like that. And the mechanic basically came back and said, you're just not driving this thing hard enough. These things are meant to be driven, and meant to be driven, well, pretty hard. I mean, you don't want to drive it so hard that you break it, but it's okay to get on it. It's okay to have a little fun and drive spiritedly, as I like to say. And you don't have to do it all the time, but it is good to kind of get it out and have some fun with it every once in a while. And it's like I say, that's what it's made for. That's what it's tuned for. It's a fun vehicle to drive. Let's just put it that way. It's very well balanced, very enjoyable, great technology. Just everything that you could likely want is here. And like I said, you even have a feature such as active park assist if you ever want to use that for parking, parallel parking, whatever the case may be. It just makes things so enjoyable. So let's get out here and do one more little pull before we end our test drive. I don't have a lot of room to do much. But got to say thanks to my friends at Mercedes Benz of Shreveport for loaning me this model for the day. And of course, thank you to all of you who are kind enough to take the time to watch my videos. I really appreciate the support. Remember to tell me what you'd like to see me feature here, and if I can get my hands on it, whether it's a particular vehicle or maybe a particular tutorial on a particular vehicle you would like to see me cover. Let me know down in the comments, and I will do everything I can to make that happen. Thanks for taking the time to watch, guys. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye-bye.